It's just you just throw. I mean, I don't, but
Yeah.
everyone just throws their rubbish where they have.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
I just think that's so irresponsible. I mean, once you I'm okay. Like you can do anything you want in your house, but this again, it's not really technically true. You can't do everything in your house. You can't play loud music because you'll annoy your neighbors. But you also can't hoard mountains of trash because then it will smell for everybody. You can't just live in a vacuum. I mean, people have to understand this. They don't. If you live alone on the earth, oh, sure, do whatever you want. Dance naked on the street every day. But you don't live alone in the world. There are 7 billion people, and your actions affect others, and others affect you. So you have to do things properly. And if you throw things outside, I think it's just so irresponsible.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
To go, but this is my point of view when they say that humans are polluting. In Australia, we tax businesses that are technically using more electricity.
Okay.
Because they're burning more and they're physically using more.
Yeah.
But there's not a single amount of thought put into the plastic that's thrown into the water at China. You say. Not at all.
Yeah,
like not a single person apart from surfers maybe and fishermen who are going, hey, we need to do something here. Because I think that's 100 times worse because it's right in front of your face every day. You can tax a business for the smokestack.
Yeah.
But what is on the ground right in front of us that we could start there. That ocean is where we eat like every single day. We'll put it this way: the surfers put it down. All that plastic.
Yeah.
It breaks down over 1,000 years.
Yes.
It breaks down into small pieces, and the fish eat it.
Yes.
It stays in the fish's system. We eat the plastic. It's this ultimate horrible thing we're doing to ourselves.
It can't be good. Yeah. It can't be good.
You know what I saw yesterday?
What's that?
At Mura Beach, and Australia freaks out about the Fukushima problem, and when I send a photo home, hey, I went surfing.
Yeah.
Or just paddling out there where there's no waves. And everyone like, oh, what are you doing? That's, Fukushima. Mm-hmm. I went, yeah, but that's sort of 4 hours in a roundabout's way up the ocean.
Yeah.
And, but every time I go there, there's a dead bird.
Yeah.
And then there's a few dead fish. I'm talking large dead fish. Yeah. But no seabirds are trying to eat them.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
That's, in Australia, if any fish washes up, all the birds go, so that's something free. Bang, 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 yeah. But for some reason, they leave the odd dead animal on the sand here, and I think, why? What do they know?
Yeah.
What can they sense about that animal?
That's a good question.
Why, JC?
I don't know.
You've been around the world.
But I can tell you one thing. After that Fukushima thing happened, right? There were many groups on the internet, video groups. One of them, like Alternative Media TV, I think is called, the channel on YouTube. And it's so pretentious, first of all, to call your channel Alternative Media, because you don't represent alternative media, okay? Those jokers don't. And it's funny because they talk about Fukushima, and they show this map, and I'm sure a lot of people have seen this map. It's the map of Japan and most of the Pacific Ocean. And from Japan, you can see kind of circles going away from Fukushima, different color circles. Yeah. And the guy in the video says, well, this is like the radiation, right? So like the red circle is like the most irradiated. The problem is that picture of the map is shown on the video, but in the corner of the map, it says wave height. Okay, so you're just lying outright to people. You're talking about something. This is just a wave height, right? The wave, the height of the tsunami.
But too late. He's shared it to thousands of people, and everyone has believed. I've seen
exactly. It's very dangerous. Some people just, watch videos and just believe it.
Yeah.
And
but at the same time, do we really know?
We don't.
Just like religion, I don't really care.
Yes,
it's away from I can do nothing about it.
Yeah.
It's no point me worrying.
Yeah,
I can't do anything. I'm not going to. I still eat the fish here.
Yeah.
I don't know where it comes from.
Yeah.
But I can't waste time worrying about it.
Yeah,
it
exactly.
Would ruin my day.
Yeah.
Just like religion would. If I was forced upon me and I had to think, oh, don't swear, someone's watching me.
Yeah.
Have you ever been religious?
No, but I was baptized. But this was kind of a spur of the moment.
Is baptism Catholic? Or is that
no,
everything?
it's pretty much general as far as I know.
Okay.
Well, I was baptized.
Or the Christian idea, isn't that right?
But I was baptized Orthodox. Orthodox. This is the kind of main religion in Russia. They believe in Jesus. I've never read the actual kind of Bible that they use, so Bibles are all different anyway. But I don't know exactly what is in there. I don't even know why my mom suddenly decided to drag me and my dad, by the way, to church. He wasn't baptized either. And she's like, well, you got to get baptized.
Right.
No reason. Let's just jump in the car and go. And we got to this church. And
it's probably like most ways to fit in with her friends or trying to, we moved to a new town.
But the thing is, like, she is not religious either. I mean, she's maybe kind of spiritual, but she's not, like, religious in the pure sense of the word. So I never really understood this decision. But, we got there to the church and in front of the priest, he made us read the Bible. And the thing is, that Bible was written in Old Russian. I can't read that stuff at all. So my dad was reading it. He can read it. And I was just kind of mouthing after him. But I found out later I didn't have to do that. But anyway, I don't want to humiliate myself entirely. But yeah, this is what happened. Just to jump back to Russia a little bit. So I mentioned earlier in the show, the big tragedy that happened there. And the big tragedy that happened there is communism. And people don't understand exactly how it changed the country. The way I like to explain it to people is, so in America right now, you got those Tea Party loonies, absolutely insane people who know nothing, but they think they know everything. Well, imagine like tomorrow, they actually control the country. And they force people to convert to their, kind of system. This is exactly what happened in the Soviet Union. A couple of people pretty much took the government, the temporary government, hostage, and bam, that's it. You're gone. We're in power now. Let's eliminate all the Tsar supporters, which they did. Eliminated the Tsar himself, of course. Murdered him. These were working class people. These were people who were not bright, not very well educated, working in a factory. What does he know?
Really?
And they now control the country. Great.
For how long?
Well, I mean, it collapsed in like the late 80s, I guess. So like at least 80 years. That's at least one full generation born in that, And
what's it like now, though? Is it democratic? Can you vote?
Oh, yeah, you can vote, and they say it's democratic, but it's not. I mean, everybody knows that, Putin right now controls the election. He changed the constitution, so now a president can sit 3 terms. That was not in the constitution before. He changed that. Amazing. So he's basically kind of the king, really. And but he's only in it for his own skin, as far as I know. He only wants to get rich and make his buddies rich. He doesn't care about the country. Honestly, like if you go to Moscow, or I guess St. Petersburg, I've never been there, but I kind of seen it. But I can only speak for Moscow. If you go there, I recommend going to anybody. I mean, it's at least once in your life. You should. There's a lot of misconceptions about the country. I would say, first of all, the food is great. When I was growing up there in the 80s, I have to say it was better, but it's still very good and it's unique. You don't find those things anywhere else in the world. I'm sorry. You just don't. And no, it's not full of chemicals. This is another misconception that Westerners have because I think it comes from Chernobyl. So, that same thing, right? So the nuclear explosion, and everybody thought that, well, okay, so now everything is contaminated and everything that people eat is basically contaminated and like everybody glows at night. That's not what's happening, people. Come on. Like, this is so bizarre. I can't believe that people propagate such propaganda. I recommend going there. There's a lot of really good restaurants. You can get a 3-course meal, a great 3-course meal at a very kind of simple restaurant for $7. I mean, come on, like.
Yeah, right. Do you have to wear layers? How cold does it get?
Well, in winter it depends. Right now the weather is changing in every country, right? That's what we were talking about before, global warming. So, for example, a couple of summers ago, it was really, really bad summer, really hot, insanely hot. The forests were on fire. Moscow was engulfed in smoke for like months. People, if they were lucky, they got out of the city and stayed outside for a bit. But, you know, if you have to work there, you're stuck. And subway has no air conditioning. So you can imagine. I think now they're trying to put it in, finally. And
yeah, but is it, 10 degrees Celsius?
What, in summer?
Yeah.
No, in summer it's like it can go up to 40 or even more. It depends on the summer. Okay. But you see, this summer is different. So now it's only 20 there. And winter is the same thing. Like when I was there, I was expecting a really cold winter. I'm like, well, it's going to come any day now. And it was like around 0. So it's like, okay, where is it? Again, misconception. It's just not what people think a lot of the time.
Imagine if Barack Obama said, I've changed the Constitution.
Yeah.
No one can vote on this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do another term.
Yeah.
Just how huge that is.
Yeah.
And he is the Barack Obama of that entire region.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
What happens to guys? Like, why? I would think if I was the president or the boss of anything,
yeah.
Yes, my second term is finished. I can holiday for the rest of my life now. Clearly something happens in men's minds where they get just drunk on power.
Yeah.
And I want more of this.
Yeah.
Like I know guys back from where I'm in Australia who are the heads of business and they're just still doing it.
Yeah.
I would, maybe I'm lazy. I'd be thinking, you've got all the money. You've got all the toys. You could just go, and change lives completely.
Yeah.
Go and take $100,000 to Thailand.
Yeah.
Or live like a millionaire. But it never happens.
Yeah.
It never happens that way.
Well, it's funny actually. I think, he will not do that, but he could, I guess, change the constitution, and he would have a fair amount of supporters, I guess, if he decided to do that. Washington, right, the first president, at the end of his 8th year, so at the end of the second term, he could have stayed for another 4 years, but he's like, well, no, I'm out of here. But there is one president who actually did 3 terms in America. That was Roosevelt. The Second World War, people said, well, hang on a second, I think changing a president right now is a bad idea, and they didn't. So that was his 3rd term during the war.
Okay.
So, but he's the only one, as far as I know. Could be wrong. I'm not like a master of American history, but
it's interesting down in Yokosuka, with a big American base.
Yeah,
it's just an interesting place.
Yeah.
To visit, and the more I go there, the more I sort of find myself wanting to find out that history, because there's all sorts of weird things in Yokosuka. So the Americans took over the big Japanese base when the war was finished. Yeah. They just took over this base, which actually is in this beautiful part of beside the ocean there. Those you can't really see it because you're not an American. You're not in the base, but where you see the submarines and that sort of stuff, there's some beautiful bits of the coast there inside Tokyo Bay. But all the there's tunnels everywhere. There's something like no, I'm going to completely botch it.
Yeah.
I heard there was 300 miles of tunnels.
Okay.
Tunnel system to get all this. The Americans are coming.
Right.
So they built all sorts of crazy things right under the city.
Yeah.
But now you've got Americans all through this town.
Yeah.
And I don't actually see a lot of Americans only on the subway.
Yeah.
They pretty much stay in the base.
Yeah.
And, shopping here and there.
Well, there's a lot of kind of English teachers here. I have to say, my complaint with them is that, you see, the English schools here, so I'm not talking about the regular school, I'm talking about the specifically English schools, have a pretty bad system. I mean, I was a teacher before, and depression, by the way, also put an end to that job. They don't expect you to teach in class as much as entertain the student. So you're just an entertainer, kind of a clown, even for adults. Really, what they want is somebody who is not boring, which I understand. Nobody wants a boring teacher. But I'm sorry, but if you want to learn something and study something, it's usually not very exciting, but you just got to do it. So,
yeah.
But A lot of those English teachers, by the way, can't even spell properly. So how can you call yourself a teacher when you can't